I'll dive. He's gone. Where'd he go? He's gone. So I'm pretty confident that it's alright to film this duck that was just sitting there, and he's gone all the way down there and he's off in the shallow. It's going to take flight as a secondary after. Oh no, come here, leave it, doesn't seem to fly. Come here, leave it, it's not flying, leave it, it's not flying, leave it, it's not flying. It's swimming with its fucking wings. Can it fly? Leave it, don't. I think it's going to get away. It can swim, and its wings are fine. It can fly. I've never seen the duck do that before. He's coming straight over. He's going to poke his head up at Bufo, but these things are incredibly dynamic. I didn't know they could swim with their wings like that. That's pretty cool. As you can see, the controls of the dogs do listen to me. I told him to leave it. It just had the duck had a feed. It can't be that stressed. It just grabbed something to eat on the way. We're going to work them together. I'm not capturing. It's a gauntlet now. The duck can take flight from here. I'm not concerned. It's gone. It's over here. They're looking there. You see? And off he goes. And he comes over. See, as soon as one of them jump in the water, then the duck's like half as much to worry about, because they can't swim anywhere near as well, and they can't see through the water like ducks because they swim around. But this is clear water. The duck will be fine, because they will lose track of it, or it will take flight. I'd say it's territorial and wants to stick here for a woman. See how Bufo's in the water, and off he goes. So he's out of it, see? But he's getting his stimulation. This is a hunting dog. And the intelligence there showing that he knew. Oh look, see right there. This duck better escape. Oh, see? And off he goes. See? And just like that, see, he's gone under the water, he disappeared. Now the thing is, the duck's territory is here. I'm sure it can do this all night. It can just go downstream. It wants to stick in this area. And it's only a juvenile. It's going to pop up right underneath Moo where she was. Even if it popped up right there, she wouldn't get him, because they can't move in the water. I'm just showing the duck. The dogs are actually. She's looking there. Fair enough. She's a year older than him. Duck's just getting some rest. Both of them can do it all night, but this one, he's got a bit of a thing for this area and for danger. They're both going to go in the water, and then duck's going to get away. It's got a thing for this area. For some reason, it's not going downstream. It does not want to leave here. Oh, he's gone on the inside, on the other side. You see that? Gone out through there. Now Beaver's looking down this way. And I'm going to take this way. So get down here. So I'll run down here, and then they'll follow me. I think it's this way. See, and the duck's safe there. Unless it decides to come down and you go, look, you missed me, you fucker. Which I would not be surprised given the attitude of that duck. It's right up there now. It's not going further. This is the area it wants to be. It's just going to float down now. It's a male by the wing colour. And this is the kind of thing that I've got with this dog. It's why I only have these 2 dogs. I took him to the beach today, hoping to give him away to somebody where he would have that life at that beach. But there was no one there because of the icy cold wind. I can't take him home. That's why I'm here thinking about what the hell I'm going to do. Because he's a male. He's the one starting the aggression though. This male could well be, potentially, as far as I'm aware, being territorial against these dogs, saying, get out of my spot. It could quite easily leave. Remarkable that it wants to stay here. It's remarkable. Next time he dies, I'm running this way. So they know he has to do it though. And you see, once he's committed, oh, he's coming up right now. Move. Come. Oh, he got away. Right, come here, quick. Go back down into the creek. Nothing's here. Oh. And what's that? What are you going to do? You're going to have to follow, aren't you? Again, looking at this. This is a fantastic dog. Stress of human beings. Didn't even get to spend the time with him at the beach. And maybe that's the reason why he's still with me. Because he's a spirit dog. This is actually quite soothing to go, at least spend some time with this boy. He's a completely different dog that other people get to experience. I don't experience him like this because of the pack dynamics with his father and older brother. And a painful irony that he is the epitome of the type of dog that I was trying to breed. I set out to breed this kind of hunting dog. He's the most like what was the inspiration of all of this. Super tough. He was mauled. It took me a good 10 minutes at least to stop him being mauled. It was horrific. I think that only occurred because of me having this human thing where I'm the boss of the pack. So he wasn't ousted. He would have been ousted a good 4 months earlier at least. The tension's high. He's been somewhere else. He's healed, given away, gone 3 other people. He's back at me, back to me. Particularly stressful time for all of us. Like whatever stress I'm going through is irrelevant to this fella because his stress is very high. Emotional intelligence for the human being that he's in a human world in the city most of the time these days, and he's never had the life that the other dogs had because there's no rabbits around anymore. We don't have the resources to go to where there are rabbits, 50 plus rabbits in Warren, foxes. Therapy dog for soldiers. This one was my dog though. I have an issue with soldiers being able to keep the dogs because their circumstances keep changing. And then there's some things with the stress that goes for the dogs for the constant changes of travel, etc. Hospital isolation. If he could sleep and be in the hospital for days on end, then there wouldn't be an issue, but that's not an option, unfortunately. So the duck was safe. The duck is a prey animal. I believe it's healthy for it to have that experience then. That's a healthier duck now than what it otherwise would have been. The cortisol, the adrenaline, and all the rest of it got released, got expressed, it got delivered, got used up, and now the duck would be enjoying a nice, relaxing and caffeine endorphin response. Probably endorphins more than caffeine, in case we come back. But then there'll be caffeines later on. So there'll be this great relaxation. Something like an orgasm, I imagine. As in the adrenal expression that was released by that juvenile male that then, got to use it all up. Like it was getting to the point it needed to stop and have a breather. A city duck, not really. So I bet you if we came along and did that tomorrow night, that duck would be twice as fit. That's just the respiratory fitness, cardiovascular. But the offspring that duck would produce, because its expression and harmonising of its endocrine system, certainly it's easy for me to say whatever. And this is all that I did to start with, was research and realise that these dogs were hunting dogs. So I engaged a dog in hunting activity by observing it and giving it freedom to move in places like this. Not this place, but such as this, where there's open space, it's contained, safe, clean water. Not a very healthy looking food. Maybe it was barking at the ground before. Now she's going to bark at that guy over there, the van parked. They may have a dog, seen them before. We'll move back this way. We don't wish to disturb them. Here is the other thing. This is where you can catch eels if it rains. Human beings make this drain thing, and then the gradual incline here from this point of the spillway coming to finish. That's an incline there. And then as it comes around, I don't know what I've done for the light. It's not getting it right now. That's an incline, a gentle one. There were 7 eels here from not that much rain. So the creek swells, the eels go for a surf. They come up on this section and suddenly they find themselves up there. And that was it. Just a shower, it all comes together. Water rises, flows, water goes down, eels are stuck up there. I don't know why, it's just unnatural. They're suddenly up there, I think, because I've seen eels travel twice that distance of the ground, but they knew where they were going. Suddenly these guys were not in the water, and the water's there. It seemed like they're trying to get there, and then some of them were just here. Didn't make it. They're predators, prey. Predator, prey, predator, prey, predator, prey. Human beings, both. The thing is that there are pythons and stuff around that are big enough to eat these dogs. They have an 8.5 metre python at my place sometimes. Well, I've seen it there. Ate all my guinea pigs years ago. 8 in one night. Last one 2 nights later. That thing could eat me. So certainly eat one of these. But they're pretty alert to everything like that. They make a lot of noise. Once these dogs realise that this activity right now, for instance, activities like this is for them. They're intelligent, they realise that. They understand what you're saying if you speak to them the way I'm talking now. He's hearing me in some level, I'm sure, understanding what I'm saying and what this is about. This is essentially, unfortunately, hopefully, our last time of doing this one-on-one. I may not ever get to see this dog again. He was my dog. Always been my dog, sleep on the bed with me. Keeping him for someone else who she hasn't changed her circumstances, so can't have him. He's a good dog for a woman. Probably going to have to take him home. I don't have any other options unless something comes up. But treating it as sincerely as that, and he knows that. He knows he was a certain way at the beach today. Like, he knows that we're at that beach to see if I can give it away. Now this duck is now 200 meters, or not 200 meters. Where are we at? This duck is further down now. So whatever its behaviour was before that was keeping it in that area, it has now left that area and it's under. So it's got the fitness to stay under. As far as everything seems to be, the duck is underneath the water right here. But it's untraceable once it goes underneath that water, even if the water is clear. That was actually the real reason for filming to start with. The water was clear, so you could see how the duck just disappeared in front of him. So it's somewhere else now. See, it would have come up for air, and different survival instincts kicking in perhaps. Maybe it's practicing some survival instinct, which is not thinking about this. The instinct is just what it is. Perhaps that instinct kicks in, that tried these other techniques. Now it's just going to be silent and still. Potentially, maybe. Because it's certainly not under there holding its breath for that long. I would suggest that it's gone upstream against the flow and is somewhere past there, and ideally we'll stay quiet as we walk past. There it is. Mimi doesn't know yet, so we'll just continue, and it's being very quiet. It's moving though, it wasn't moving. There's no movement. And then it just moved, so it's got the ripples. Bufo's further down. Oh no, he's further up. Right. Duck safe. There we go. There we go. That's hunting stimulation. That's the closest that they've ever gotten with such a thing like that, but I've let them be in areas where I've seen them so much. I knew exactly. See, here she goes. this is the intelligence, like this worth it is most certainly worth trying back here. And now she's looking up there. She's surveying everything. Smelling the air. The air is actually blowing that way, so she might be onto something because the air is actually coming from that way. The wind is coming that way. So the duck probably wasn't even breathing, and then just went, ah, and that's what's got him. You gotta be careful with that. I would not let this occur with more than two. You have a particularly contained situation right here, under a particular circumstance. In a particular place that I recently found and have been here on a few occasions. And have access to that private property, which is the best stimulation environment ever found. And that's what that was, stimulation. See, I did not encourage them, and what might have seemed like encouragement was actually using the encouraging nature of my demeanor to take them away. But encouraging them wouldn't have really done much more, because this is what they are. It's more about acceptance and recognition of their capabilities, and knowing that they will respond to my voice even if they had that duck by the neck. However, if that duck tried to bury itself under the ground instead of the water, into the mud, and then flapped its wings and fought back or scratched it with its claw, then that would have been it for it, and they would not have responded to my voice. It's reasonably safe to say. Now, why would it do something like this? Why would you live this way? Why would you have a dog like this? Well, any dog this size in an adult is a dog like this. If it's living in a city and not being treated as a dog or a hunting dog and getting in trouble for its instincts, then that stress is a lot worse than this. This is how you heal the stress. Let the endocrine system have these full releases. That was a pretty good interaction for them. Like, they, at some point in the past, we've both been far too excited to have a chance of even getting that close. But I knew, even with her temperament now, the duck had the advantage. It could swim, dive, disappear, hold its breath. I didn't know it could swim with its wings like that. Never knew that about those land ducks, those mallards. And then it could take flight. So not a suggestion to actively engage. Like, we didn't come here looking for ducks or looking in the water for eels. They can't even seem to see the eels. So I knew that duck would be safe. However, if they killed it, then I would have cooked it up, eaten some, and then given them the rest. Because I'm the alpha male, so I eat first, no matter who made the kill. And that's the way it is. So if you see a dog that doesn't seem to be able to respect its humans, and has all these discipline issues, but they have this incredible bond. So if that dog is being fed before the humans, The humans are messing with millions and millions and millions of years of very finely crafted instinct, which the dog is not thinking about. But it's a bit like a man trying to do everything for a woman and make her the main priority and center of his life, as though a newborn baby, and then changing whatever he's doing to then go and run errands. Then how the hell can a woman respect a man like that? It's instinct. Same with these dogs. And then conversely, last thing I'll say to wrap this up, is if the dog can eat the food that one is eating, and one saves the last mouthful of the food for the dog, and does that frequently and consistently, and basically only doesn't give the dog spicy food that it can't eat, or whatever food it can't eat, then that dog is by default on the team of the person who thinks that way and acknowledges it. It's just a theory that I came up with, and I very clearly have demonstrated it many times, to the point you could say that it's pretty much proof. Any dog that you have that's looking at you have food, sit in discipline and wait, and will turn up just as you're finishing, get that last bite, just to taste the morsels enough. Suddenly you need to bark half the command to that dog as what you were. It will not be more than 30 feet from your feet. It will come when you call it. It will do what you say. So long as you never leave it alone, then its stress levels will be remarkably lower than the average dog in the city. I suppose in this case, at least this dog, stress levels are through the roof, but it seems to be some very primal thing that he can't help himself. But seconds after I come down hard in intervention, making it very clear to the other males that there will not be any fighting, to all three of them, he's the one that's going to get done though, by two. Even if it's one at a time, comes to that point I couldn't stop it. One at a time before I couldn't stop. After I managed to get Elvis off, the big one, and then it took 10 minutes at least. But he's the one, through and through, he is the one causing it every single time. And from my human perspective, it is totally, comprehensively uncalled for, and just a dangerous thing to do for one's own health, because someone's got to go, and it can really only be him, because the other boy, his older brother, always submits to the father, has never challenged him. This fella really bonds a lot, but he challenges. Tells his father, just in case he thinks about coming anywhere near him while he's got a bone, then don't. His food. He goes and eats his food. He lies in particular places where he must be passed so he can growl at the other dogs. And he does not seem to have any choice about it. It's very clearly a direct instinct. Like that. Like that. He's a stunning creature, considering not 2 months ago, absolute maximum, that he was almost mauled to death. So at least stress levels are significantly lower than when I started filming this film. And this is why I do it. I did this for the dogs, and I realised the effect it had on me, facilitating this for the dogs, and then the bond that comes with the dog. I feel good about myself for having taken this dog to the beach, giving some stimulation, but preoccupied with human stuff and stress. The person I was taking to the beach, being elderly, and all the other factors of human but this calmness. I don't need to bark any commands to them. That's a byproduct of me feeling good about giving them this stimulation here. Recognizing before I drive from here, I'm going to stop and think for a minute and just walk 500 meters down there along the creek and walk 500 meters back. Roll the smoke while standing here looking at the eels in the water and think. There are 3 guard dogs right there. I told them not to bark at them. So they have not barked since we got here. They were barking further down the road, but when we got here, they had a card just up there. I said, do not bark at those dogs. Those dogs are barking at them. They have not barked. And I have not had to give a command at all, except for telling it to leave that duck because I thought it couldn't take flight. And you saw that it did. So, insanity is doing something that is not productive and not in accordance with what you are trying to achieve. I don't know what it's called when you don't know what you're trying to achieve, but it seems like most people don't have a clue what they're trying to achieve or what they're living for or why they have that look on their face. What is that? It's an eel. It's an eel. The eels come up here on this gradient. Here's the other spot. In the flood zone, you can catch an eel over a foot long. You catch 5 eels here over a foot long probably. They come flying down there. Great surf. Through there. Here, up the gradient, and then bang. They're out of action. There'll be a lot of water here. They'll probably get back in there. But here's a place to catch eels. That's a dry one too, so it's not going to stink. That's good. That's the land gradient. I only know about that because I found all these eels here days after the rain. It wasn't much rain. There's a number of eels that are over a foot long just hanging around here. So if there's that many eels, as I from here, the stretch that I've just walked down, there'll be at least 20 eels that are over a foot long, based on what I've seen. They're in there, in those kind of numbers here in this area. So then, there would be bigger ones. The water looks pretty clean. Fantastic to see. rather eat an eel than people. If the economy collapses, probably better off eating an eel out of an industrial zone creek in the city than being one of those civilized people that will eat other people out of instinct. May Bufo find his human and have stability and a beautiful life. I'm Money Palmer.